thought Earth was safe. Shadow Force is back with Shadow Raider, their new mechanized menace. All-terrain treads, hidden cargo driver, and a weapon system that'll blast anything out of its path. Almost anything. Starcom's HARV-7 can stop it. Half battle tank, half transport. HARV-7 can pick it up and move it out. The Shadow Raider and Starcom HARV-7 don't even need batteries. Figures and vehicles each sold separately.
Alright, hey guys, and welcome back, as this week I'm going to be taking a look at Starcom. The idea for the Starcom toy line was produced by Coleco Toys in 1987 and took much of its inspiration from NASA. Starcom, or otherwise known as the United States Space Force, is led by Admiral Franklin Brickley and is the United States' first and last line of defense against the evil organization known as the Shadow Force, led by Emperor Dark, with his armies of Battlecrons, who not only wants to rule the Earth, but make himself the supreme ruler of the universe as well. There was the main line of 12 vehicles, 2 playsets, and 4 action pods that were released in North America, along with a second series of 11 vehicles that only released in Canada and Europe exclusively. The vehicles were mainly driven by spring-powered motors in the Power Deploy line, and all of the figures had magnets on their feet that could attach to the vehicles and playsets, and some could even use the magnets to activate special moving features in the Magnaforce line. The Starcom cartoon was released on September 20th, 1987, but only ran for 1 season until being cancelled due to low ratings. Shortly after the cartoon series was cancelled, Coleco discontinued the Starcom line completely, grounding this unique toy line that had dreams of reaching the stars.
Alright, so now let's take a look at some of the Starcom vehicles and figures that I have here in my collection. Now, I have a pretty good assortment of vehicles and the figures, only one of which is actually complete. The other vehicles and figures, they're kind of mismatched with each other, but they're paired up, you know, just for fun, so you get an idea of how they would have looked and how they would have operated. And unfortunately, while most of these vehicles do work, they are missing some pieces, some wheels, you know, maybe parts of the wings on some of the planes and stuff. So I suspect, since I got most of these really cheaply, and I believe only 2 of them are complete, either the pieces just either broke off and got lost, or maybe somebody used these for parts over the years, but they're still really neat, and I think it's still a pretty good representation of the toys. So first, let's take a look at the Shadow Raider, which would be this big vehicle on the far left. I'll move this out of the way here. Now, this is missing a lot. I never knew that these weren't the right wheels. This is actually supposed to have like the tank treads. So I think that's really odd. They would have just come off and gotten lost. So it seems like someone probably just, you know, used them as replacement treads, I'm sure, which is why they're missing off of here. Even that aside, I think it still looks pretty good. You can see on the back, it's missing one of the laser cannons as well as, well, that's not missing, just been broken off. The stickers are in really good shape, though. You got like the exhaust engines on the back, which look really good. Then you have the Shadow Force logo on the side, all of the different numbers, a little sticker for the fuel, which you'll see on almost all the vehicles. They'll all have that little fuel logo, and I'll explain that a little bit more in detail in just a second. And then we have, oops, he's falling over in the back there. And then we have the other stickers on the front, and this is missing. Also, there would have been a little pop-up cannon that would have come out of the center, which is also missing. But even all that aside, it still functions pretty well, even with what's missing, and is still pretty cool. So this is the only Shadow Force figure that I have here, and this is Major Romac. And he's pretty neat looking. He's got the Shadow Force logo on his suit there. And also these figures, they would have had little visors, and all those are missing. But I suspect that that's something that was very, very easy to get misplaced, because they're so small. Or again, someone may have, you know, just taken them off and used them on their own figures. And you can see on the bottom, he has the little magnets on the bottom of his feet. So a lot of people see these and they don't know what in the world they are because of those little foot magnets, which is what makes these toys very unique and very different. And you can see now all of these are the Power Force. None of these are the Magnaforce toys. So these are not the ones that are activated when a magnet is attached to them. But you can see that you can just put them on the top there. And, you know, they hold on. And the magnets are pretty strong. They're pretty neat, pretty fun. And then what this would have had too, as it has on the bottom, this would have been the magnet for like how it picks up the cargo. And then this little button here, you would like lift that up or push it down, and then it would release like the cargo. So now what this still does do, even though it, you know, is kind of missing quite a bit here, is you can still open up the cockpit here with this little button. And that pops open nicely. And then we can stick Major Romac inside. And then on the side here, you have this little button here. And it still transforms, which is really neat, because you'll see these little laser pistols will pop out, and you push that button there. And so it still, you know, it still has that little feature to it. So even though it doesn't have the tank treads, it still kind of looks like a cool outer space vehicle. Like, the wheels look good enough. I guess I really wish I had everything, but it still looks pretty neat. I just wish the other main cannon was there, and I think you could get away without having the tank treads. But we'll do that one more time so you can see the lasers pop out on the front here. And you can see how they pop out. So I know one toy line that this reminds a lot of people of. It's very reminiscent of like the Mask series of toys because of that, which is really neat. Because of all the different moving things and the small figures. I can see why, you know, a lot of people may associate that with a toy line like Mask. And you can also put a second figure in the back of the vehicle there. And there we are. So that is the Shadow Raider. And now we're going to take a look at the only complete one that I have here. And we'll see if we can just put him up there for now so he doesn't fall over again. And that would be the Laser Rat. And I think that's a funny little name for this vehicle, and you actually see these quite a bit. They're pretty common. I see these all the time, and I think it's a really neat little vehicle. It's very small. The stickers look great. I mean, everything on this is in like pretty much pristine condition. Nice rubber tires. The Starcom logo there. Up, you can even see on the side where it says Rat, Laser Rat, and you got the little looks like I guess it's like a rat. Looks like a snake. It's a snake logo, actually. That's funny, a snake logo for a rat. I don't... Kind of a play on words there. You got the little headlights and the other logo on the front. Either that or that is just the worst logo of a rat I've ever seen in my life. And then we have the driver that would have came with this, and that is Captain Vic Dakota Hayes. And so he's really easy to recognize because he has that blue space helmet, and he's got the Starcom logo on his uniform with the black pants and gray camo and beige jacket that he's wearing there. And now what this does is when you get ready to transform it out of its little standard mode here, you just take, and the wheels extend. So that way it gives it more of like an all-terrain kind of look to it. And then there's this really, really teeny tiny little switch here. And now, like I said, the springs, they work, but just they don't quite have the power they once had. So we'll go ahead and we'll hit that little switch. It's really hard to get a hold of. There you go, and you give it a little bit of nudge for encouragement, and you can see it come to life. And the little laser cannons spring up on the top. Then you can point the little other cannons out to the side. You have the area for the driver's seat, so we can put him in the driver's seat. like that, and we can put his buddy here in the back, and he can handle the main laser cannon in the back. And I think that looks really cool. That's a really nice little vehicle for being such a small, really small toy. There's a lot going on, a lot of nice detail. You got magnets over here on the side too, so you can even put, you know, more figures on the side. Have a whole little platoon going into battle. So really nice. That's a really nice little figure and vehicle set. Very nice. I like the orange on the laser pistols and cannons too. I think that looks really neat. And then to kind of complement this, we'll take a look at this first. This is one of the action pods. So I'm not 100% sure what in all would have came with this, but this is a fueling station. And so you can actually give the little figures, let's see, where is, oh, it's up top. So we're going to have to take him out for just a second. And he could stand there. Let's flip that back. And so you can actually put the little nozzle here in their hands. They can hold on to that. And then you can have them put it in. All the vehicles have these little holes that are marked fuel. And so that way they can refuel all of their planes and battle vehicles and everything, which is really neat. And again, like I said, I'm not 100% sure what would have all came with this. There's only the one hose. But I have to think there would have been something else that would have came with this to make it more action-y, you know, instead of just a little fuel pod. But I do think that is neat, and that definitely does add something to the series. And now this is one of the main vehicles in the series here, and this is the F14 Star Wolf. And now, unfortunately, this is missing the little wingtips, but other than that, it's in pretty good shape. Plastic's yellowed a bit over the years. And then the figure I have with him, it's not the right figure, but this is Paul Corbin. We'll get a look at him. And you can see him with his white space helmet and green camo and white space suit. I believe he's actually one of the Starcom Space Marines. That's why his suit looks so different with the insignia on the sleeves. I'll just put him up there for a second. And so, let's take a look at the vehicle here. And you can see it has the insignia on the side, indicating that it's one of the battle vehicles in Starcom's fleet. Not a lot going on in the way of stickers, but the ones that are there are nice. And then what this does here, well, you can actually open up the cockpit as well, but it doesn't open up like all the way like that other one. So I don't know if it's just the spring is old or if it ever really popped up quickly like the other one, but we'll put him inside there. His head seems to be sticking. There we go. So we got Paul in there, and you got the nice laser cannons on the front. And now what this does is you fold up the wings like this. And then you fold the nose cone up. And there's a little switch on the side, but that doesn't really work. That's what's supposed to release it to get it to transform all the way. But no matter how hard I press on it, it really doesn't do it. So you just give it a little nudge. And then it transforms all the rest of the way out. And then even on the bottom, you have a little switch here that deploys the landing gear. So that way it has a little landing gear to sit like that, or you can land them on, like, you know, the fuel pump or whatever like that, which is pretty neat. So a pretty neat little fighter jet, I think. And then next we have the battle crane. Now this is really cool, but unfortunately, again, it is missing some stuff. And I think this is really neat because it kind of transforms into like a hover jet kind of looking vehicle, which is really cool. So you can see the big exhaust fans on the sides there. I really like the nice big clear cockpit window there. You have two little front-mounted laser cannons. I like the color scheme, even though, of course, the plastic is yellowed. I still think it looks good. And what it's missing is there would be longer legs on the bottom, so that way this could, like, reach around and pick up larger cargo containers. And, you know, you can grab them with the magnet and then hit another button, and then that will drop them off. So it kind of looks like a weird little insect. I think that's pretty neat. And then we'll see what this can do. And you just hit this little button here. And that opens up the front cockpit and deploys the little laser cannons there in the front. And this figure that we have here, this is Sean Reid. And he's very different with his red uniform. Nice silver accents with the blue Starcom logo. And so we'll put him in the driver's seat here. There we are. And now when you go to hit this little button to get it transform, you'll see the little turbines on the side. They flip out, and it kind of looks like a little beetle or something. Looks really neat. I really like those jet engines on the side. They're really cool. So even though it is missing the other legs that would fit around, I guess, something more like this, like a cargo container, which I don't know if it will even do that, but we'll give it a try here and see if it'll actually perform its little function of being able to drop the container. So see, it picks it up like that, and then what you're supposed to do is be able to hit this little button. Hey, there we go. I wasn't sure that was going to actually be able to do it. So even without the extended legs, it still works as it's intended. It just doesn't look 100% the way that it's supposed to look. But still really neat. Still really cool. Alrighty, and then last but certainly not least, we have the Starhawk here, which is another one of the larger battle jets used by Starcom. And unfortunately, this is missing quite a bit. It's missing the main large wings on either side. Plastic's a little yellowed again, but even all in all, for what's there, it still looks pretty good. I mean, if you didn't know any better, it kind of just looks like a sleek starfighter or something like that. So what this does, its action feature, I don't know how this would have originally worked, but the way that I get it to work is I don't believe this switch up here, I tried pushing that in, doesn't really do anything, but if you just kind of gently pull this apart, then it extends into its combat mode, and you see its main laser cannon appears there. And I guess there would have been something else that would have probably deployed the wings down like the other one. And yeah, it looks like somebody probably took those off, because I don't think they broke off. It's really clean. They're just missing. So it looks like somebody just used the rest of that for parts. Still has some really nice stickers on it, you know, even all things considered with the wear. And you have a interesting feature on the bottom where there's a little spot where you can hold it with your hand, you know, to be able to fly it around and stuff. So I like how they have that little indentation there. And then you have the landing gear, which you can deploy with these little buttons here. Like so. And then another neat little feature is you can slide these little buttons up here. And that will deploy the cockpit areas for the pilots. So that's really cool, because you can actually just take whoever you want to fly the Starhawk, and then you can load them in here. Tight fit. And we'll put him in. And we'll put Captain Dakota Hayes on the other side. There we go. And then fold that up. And these guys are ready to fly into battle against the Shadow Force. You can see them in there through the plastic windows. It looks really neat, and it's really cool because then you just hit that little button again when you're ready to get them out, and well, they don't necessarily come out the easiest, but then they're back from another successful Starcom mission. Well, alright guys, so that is going to do it. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at my review of the Starcom line of toys by Coleco. I think it's a really interesting toy line, and it's definitely different from so many other lines that you see, like Star Wars or G.I. Joe or anything like that. Because it's interesting that its logo, a lot of the way that it's designed, actually took inspiration from NASA. I mean, especially when you look at, like, you know, a logo like this on Sean Reid's uniform here, you can really see that they're taking inspiration from NASA, and I think that that's really interesting, but unfortunately might have been a reason why the series failed, because it just maybe was a little bit too realistic and didn't have enough of that kind of fun, cartoony, catchy element that cartoons and toy lines really needed, especially to be successful in a competitive time period like the mid-1980s. So anyway, guys, again, thank you for checking out my review of the Starcom toy line by Coleco, and I will see you back here next time. Take care.
Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and you can follow me at Facebook at King of Retro or Twitter at #8ByteBrian. See you next time.